I had never made a call to Diddy, really?
He never feared Diddy, and now we know why. For years, fans assumed Eminem was just staying quiet, that he didn't want smoke, that he was too focused on lyrics and legacy to get tangled up in the chaos that surrounded Diddy. But behind the scenes, there was a reason Eminem never flinched. Not when Biggie died, not when rumors started flying, not even when whispers linked Diddy's empire to things far darker than music. Because what most people don't realize is this: Eminem didn't fear Diddy because he knew Diddy feared him. That's right. According to insiders, industry execs, and leaked convos from back in the early 2000s, Diddy was terrified of poking the bear. Eminem was the one rapper with nothing to lose, no leash, no gatekeepers, and no skeletons that could be used to shut him up. He saw how Diddy moved. He watched how other artists either aligned with Diddy or disappeared. But he stayed sharp, he stayed quiet, and he never blinked. And now, decades later, the truth is finally starting to leak out. From old 106 and Park footage to backstage whispers at Bet events, it's becoming painfully clear that Eminem's silence wasn't weakness. It was strategy, and the real story behind why he never feared Diddy. It's darker, more dangerous, and more personal than anyone imagined. Because when you hear what Eminem allegedly knew and what he could have exposed at any moment, you'll understand exactly why the industry treated him like a loaded weapon. This isn't just a rap story. This is about power, control, and the one man Diddy never wanted to cross. To understand why Eminem never flinched, why he never bowed, folded, or even publicly acknowledged Diddy as a threat, we have to go way back. Back to a time when hip-hop wasn't just music, it was survival. The late 90s and early 2000s weren't just flashy chains and platinum records. Behind the blinged-out award shows and glossy magazine covers was a game of real power, and at the center of that game, Sean Diddy Combs. Diddy wasn't just a producer, he was a mogul, a gatekeeper, a figure who could make or break careers with a single phone call. He ran Bad Boy Records like a kingdom. He had Biggie, he had Mace. He had the Locks, Faith Evans, and 112. He had the streets, the media, and a hand in almost every major hip-hop deal happening on the East Coast. And for a while, Diddy was untouchable. But then came Marshall Mathers, a white boy from Detroit with nothing to lose and everything to prove. Eminem didn't come up through the usual lanes. He didn't suck up to East Coast elites. He didn't play the industry politics. He exploded onto the scene with raw talent, a sick mind, and a mentor no one dared cross: Dr. Dre. The moment Dre introduced Eminem to the world, it wasn't just the music that got attention, it was the message. I'm not here to play nice. He wasn't trying to be Diddy's friend. He wasn't trying to party in Miami or pose for red carpets. He was here to dismantle the pop culture machine from the inside out. And from day one, that terrified the power players, including Diddy. Insiders from the early 2000s have whispered for years that Diddy kept a close eye on M. Not because he wanted to work with him, but because he didn't know what M was capable of. Eminem at the peak of his Slim Shady era was volatile, unpredictable, and deadly with a mic. He wasn't bound by loyalty. He wasn't scared to name names. And worst of all for Diddy, he had the receipts. People forget. Eminem came up at a time when the industry was shifting. CDs were selling, yes, but DVDs, radio leaks, message boards, and the early internet were starting to democratize secrets. And he was listening. He heard the whispers about Biggie's death. He knew the rumors about Diddy's alleged street connections. He saw how Diddy moved with politicians, with corporate executives, with media moguls, and M made one decision early in his career. I'll be so big they can't silence me. He built Shady Records. He brought on 50 Cent, another artist who wasn't scared of anything or anyone. He formed a squad that didn't need Bad Boy, didn't need the East Coast stamp of approval. And in doing so, he created a power center outside Diddy's reach. But why didn't he ever take a direct shot? Why didn't Eminem, king of diss tracks, ever name Diddy directly in any of his chaotic, controversial songs? That question haunted fans for years. Some thought he was scared. Some thought he was being strategic. Some even believed he and Diddy had a secret truce behind the scenes. But what if the real answer was deeper? What if Eminem stayed quiet? Because he knew that one wrong word could spark a war that even he couldn't control. According to multiple sources close to the Shady camp in the early 2000s, Eminem was warned, more than once, not to poke the bad boy bear. But not by Diddy, by other rappers who had tried and paid the price. It's been said that several unnamed artists who attempted to call out Diddy in the late 90s saw their careers mysteriously stall. Radio silence, tour cancellations, PR scandals that came out of nowhere. Some fans even point to Mace's sudden retreat from music, the Lox's war with Bad Boy, even the odd timing of Shine's arrest and deportation. Was it just bad luck or something more coordinated? Eminem saw all of it. He watched the politics, and he understood the game, but he also knew one thing Diddy feared most. Someone who didn't need his money, his power, or his approval, and Eminem never needed Diddy for anything. His albums went diamond without him. His fanbase was global, his artistry was unmatched, and his label, Shady Records, became a fortress of independence. By 2004, M had made it clear. He wasn't part of the East Coast versus West Coast drama. He wasn't part of the New York elites. He was a wild card, and in an industry obsessed with control, that made him the most dangerous man in rap. Diddy, by contrast, had transformed. No longer just the club-hopping, champagne-spraying mogul, he was now a businessman. He had Ciroc, he had fashion brands. He was working his way into TV, movies, and politics. And the last thing he needed, a lyrical assassin like Eminem breathing down his neck. So the Cold War began. Eminem and Diddy never collaborated. They never publicly beefed. But they always stayed just far enough apart to keep fans wondering, is there something we're not being told? And now, with recent leaks, rare interviews resurfacing, and behind-the-scenes audio clips making their way online, the truth is finally starting to emerge. Eminem didn't stay quiet because he feared Diddy. He stayed quiet because he didn't want to burn the house down. And if you thought that was shocking, wait until you hear what really went down during the 2003 BET Awards afterparty, when Eminem and Diddy were allegedly caught in a tense face-to-face moment that never made the headlines, but was whispered about in VIP rooms for years. And yes, there were witnesses. Coming up next, it was supposed to be just another industry celebration. The 2003 BET Awards afterparty was packed wall-to-wall with legends, newcomers, moguls, and power players, all gathered in one glittering LA venue. Cameras weren't allowed past the lobby. Security was tight. The music was loud, the bottles were flowing, and every room was crawling with celebrity. But in the back lounge, far from the crowd, something was brewing. According to two former bodyguards and an assistant-turned-whistleblower who later spoke anonymously to a hip-hop podcast, the night took a dark turn when Eminem and Diddy came face-to-face for the first time. And not just any face-to-face. This was private, tense, and unforgettable. The source, known only as Z, described the moment like this. You could feel it. The room shifted. Diddy was sitting with some revolt people, a couple of producers. Then M walks in, no posse, no hype, just stone cold. They locked eyes. Diddy didn't smile. Neither did M. Everyone froze. And what happened next? Not a shouting match, not fists, just one brutal sentence. Eminem reportedly leaned in close enough for only the inner circle to hear. Then said, "You know I got the files, right?" Diddy blinked, laughed nervously, said something about misunderstandings. But M didn't move, didn't blink. Z swears the tension was nuclear. The entire room held its breath. Then M dropped another line, this time reportedly referencing the 2001 studio incident involving an unnamed bad boy artist and an alleged cover-up, something only a few insiders even knew had happened. And that's when Diddy's entire demeanor shifted. He reportedly stood up, shook M's hand in a stiff, forced gesture, and exited the room with his team. No confrontation, no denial, just a silent retreat. Why? Because whatever Eminem had, whatever files he was referring to, Diddy didn't want it made public. Now here's where things get even crazier. That same week, a mysterious burner Twitter account posted a single tweet that sent conspiracy corners of hip-hop Reddit into a frenzy. If Shady drops the tapes, 3 major careers fall, one is already crumbling. The tweet was deleted within hours, but screenshots spread fast, and fans immediately started theorizing. Was Diddy hiding something? Was Eminem sitting on proof? And what did he mean by 3 careers? A few names were thrown out, none confirmed, but the one constant in every theory, Diddy. The very next month, rumors swirled that Eminem had received pressure from label execs and brand partners to de-escalate. One former Interscope insider claimed Eminem was offered a silent partnership in a tech company in exchange for permanently shelving certain materials. Was this hush money? A bribe, a business distraction? We don't know. But what we do know is that after that night, Eminem's tone shifted. He became colder, less interested in the celebrity scene, less visible at industry parties. He stopped playing the game and focused only on the music. But he never addressed Diddy, not directly, not in interviews, not even in songs, until a small, overlooked bar appeared in a freestyle years later. They want me to stay quiet like I ain't got tape slash, but silence is power and power's my taste. It went over most fans' heads, but those in the know, they heard it loud and clear. Now here's where the first twist hits. 2 years ago, a folder of files titled Shady Vault was anonymously uploaded to a private Discord server. Inside were audio clips, voice notes, and cryptic documents that seemed to allude to private meetings, silent payoffs, and moments of tension between Diddy executives and an unnamed artist with nuclear potential. Though the documents were swiftly removed, Reddit investigators traced some of the audio files to a hidden studio in Detroit, the same place M was known to record his most personal, unreleased material. And according to one mod from the now-banned subreddit r/industry leaks, some of the audio featured disguised voices referencing the 99 cover-up, a burner phone incident in LA, and keeping Shady off the stage at redacted benefit show. Now ask yourself, why would anyone go to that much effort to hide something, unless it could burn everything down? Because here's the chilling implication. Eminem didn't just have one file, he had a vault. A decades-long archive of industry manipulation, hidden feuds, and power games. And who kept showing up in those whispers? Diddy. Not just as a mogul, not just as a name, but as a threat to be contained. And the real reason Eminem never feared him, because M had built his career in total isolation from the machine. He didn't owe anyone favors, didn't take money from the usual donors, didn't party with politicians or pose for soft image photos. He was untouchable, which meant he was dangerous. Diddy, for all his flash and fame, was vulnerable to exposure. Eminem, by contrast, could drop a nuclear bar and go back to Detroit like nothing happened. And now, with digital investigators, enhanced audio forensics, and more ex-industry employees speaking out than ever before, the pressure is building again. But the real shock? We're only halfway there. Because up next is a second twist that flips the entire narrative. A twist that connects Diddy, M, and a mysterious figure with the initials CC. One who's been pulling strings from the shadows, and may be the reason Eminem stayed silent all along. If you thought the silent war between Eminem and Diddy was just about two rap titans keeping their distance, you haven't seen anything yet. Because just when the smoke seemed to clear, just when fans thought M had quietly moved on and Diddy had escaped another scandal untouched, a new name surfaced. A name neither Eminem nor Diddy has ever publicly spoken about. A name that sent shockwaves through the hip-hop underworld the moment it hit encrypted Telegram threads. 2 letters. CC. At first, no one knew what it meant. Some thought it was code. Others said it stood for Clean Cut, a rumored fixer who worked behind the scenes during the Making the Band era. But then, an anonymous whistleblower dropped 3 images in a dark web archive titled The House Always Wins. The first image, an old studio calendar from 2002 showing a late-night session booked under M. Mathers/Escombe/CC, same date, same location, no public record. The second image, a partial recording contract blacked out but with a scribbled post-it reading. CC says no go on M collab, too risky, he knows too much. The third image, a blurry photo of a man, face obscured, walking behind Diddy at the 2005 MTV VMAs, wearing a lanyard with the initials. CC, this wasn't just another ghost from the past. This was someone deep in the machine, someone who allegedly vetted high-profile artists, pulled strings at media outlets, and decided who lived or died in the public eye. And if the whispers are true, CC was the one who told Diddy to stand down and warned M. Without ever meeting him directly, that silence was protection. Now this is where the story turns into full-blown chaos. Because just 3 months ago, a Twitter thread from its Shady Archives went viral with over 8.6 million views in a matter of hours. It claimed to reveal the original draft lyrics of a never-released Eminem track allegedly titled Kingmaker. A hidden verse that alluded to cameras behind mirrors at industry retreats a list of artists who played the game and those who vanished. One tweet read, Eminem knew where the bodies were metaphorically buried and possibly literally. Fans were stunned, and in the middle of the thread, a reference that stopped everyone cold, and still CC said no. So the vault stayed shut. Now the theory spiraled. Was CC the one keeping M from speaking? Was Diddy just the face while CC was the true gatekeeper? Soon, digital sleuths started digging deep into old Viacom staffing logs, looking at uncredited producers, handlers, and event managers. One name kept popping up, Charles Crawley. Never in the public eye, no interviews. but always listed on internal emails, security memos, and planning documents for every major award show, music conference, and album rollout from 1999 to 2011. A Redditor from r/Hip Hop Conspiracies posted, "This man isn't just behind Diddy. He was in the room when M got banned from the 2004 Grammys. He helped bury the Benzino tapes. He's the shadow you never see." And that's when people started asking, did Eminem go silent because he feared Diddy, or because he was warned by someone much more powerful? But hold on, because we're not done. While that online firestorm was erupting, a leaked internal memo from a retired music PR firm hit the dark web. It included notes from a 2005 damage control meeting following the Vibe Awards brawl. One line stood out. Combs agreed, Mathers is untouchable, no PR escalation. CC insists on silent containment. Shady Vault must remain locked. Silent containment, that's not fear, that's strategy. Now let's talk about the music itself. You ever notice how Eminem rarely talks about industry beef in direct terms? He'll go nuclear on Mariah, MGK, Moby, even Trump. But when it comes to the label executives, the gatekeepers, the architects of fame, he tiptoes, not because he's scared, but because he knows one line too far could collapse the entire illusion. In an old radio freestyle, he said, "They want puppet strings to play King's Slash, but I see 'em in suits. No bling, silent rings / whispering threats if I bring receipts / but I built my throne with deleted tweets." The man has bars buried in metaphors, bars that don't just diss, they warn. So when fans ask, why didn't M ever fire at Diddy the way 50 did? The answer might be, because he wasn't aiming at Diddy. He was aiming at the one giving Diddy orders, and that's the escalation no one saw coming. Because if CC really was involved, if there was a secret agreement to keep Eminem away from Diddy's public orbit, and to prevent him from dropping the contents of his so-called vault, then this story isn't about beef anymore. It's about control. It's about how far a billion-dollar industry will go to keep certain truths from spilling into the mainstream. And maybe the scariest part? M let them, not because they threatened him, but because he knew the moment he let it all out, he'd become their target. And now, 2 decades later, we're starting to see the cracks. Because new rap beefs don't hit like they used to. New stars don't disrupt the system the way M did. And maybe, just maybe, that's by design. But guess what? The vault might not stay closed forever. Because in the last week, rumors have started to swirl that a former Shady Records engineer is preparing to leak partial sessions from Kingmaker, the track M was allegedly pressured to bury. And in that track, there's supposedly a verse that names names. No metaphors, no filters, and yes, Diddy's name is in it, but so is CC's. The moment the whispers about Kingmaker and the CC Vault enforcer hit the web, social media went nuclear. TikTok exploded with breakdowns. Reddit was flooded with hour-by-hour timelines. YouTube was drowning in reaction videos, and Twitter, now X, turned into an all-out battlefield. Within hours, the hashtag #ShadyKnows was trending worldwide, followed closely by #Diddy Buried What and #WhoIsCC. Everyone had a theory. Everyone wanted the tapes, and no one was holding back. One viral TikTok with over 3.2 million views broke it down like this. If Eminem really has a vault that could end 3 careers, and Diddy is one of them, that means the other 2 gotta be even bigger or closer. What if we're talking about a label exec or a politician? A Twitter user posted a theory thread that got reposted by some major hip-hop blogs. CC equals Charles Crawley. Crawley equals industry cleaner. Remember the weird interview where M said, "They tried to clean me up, but bleach don't work on blood"? That was about CC guaranteed. The tweets came fast. The debates were chaotic. Here are just a few of the loudest reactions online. Fire at hip-hop leaks. If this Kingmaker track drops, Diddy's entire empire crumbles. You thought Pac was a conspiracy. This is corporate sabotage 101. Fire at bars decoded. Y'all still think Eminem was scared of Diddy. He's been holding his tongue out of mercy. Shady been the final boss this whole time. Fire at Slime Mob Echo. What if Dre told them to chill? What if there's a bigger hand pulling all of this? Dre, Diddy, J, they all kept quiet for a reason. Even verified artists started jumping into the chaos. Bun B tweeted and quickly deleted. Y'all don't know half the S that went down in those early 2000s backrooms. If Marshall talks, it's game over. Joe Budden, never one to hold back, went off on his podcast. Of course M never said Diddy's name. You think he didn't have a reason? The man's smarter than all of us. He knew the minute he spilled, it wasn't just Diddy going down. It was infrastructure. Royce da 59 stayed vague, but dropped a cryptic Instagram post of a locked vault with a flame emoji and the caption, "Ain't no secrets, just release dates." Even 50 Cent, the king of trolling and shade, posted a laughing emoji with the caption, "Damn, knew the silence was loud, now it's just loud loud." Meanwhile, journalists and bloggers started digging into old interviews from the early 2000s, trying to spot the moments where M may have hinted at something deeper. One resurfaced video from 2004 showed M in an MTV interview being asked, "Is there anyone in the industry you just don't mess with?" And M smirked, paused, and said, "Yeah, but they know who they are. And they know I know." That line was chilling then. Now, it's being called a threat in disguise. Hip-hop YouTube exploded with think pieces. Police Car Light DJ Arcade Mix did a 3-hour live stream breaking down timelines, old concert footage, rare lyrics, and back-channel whispers from producers who worked on Shady Records sessions between 2001 and 2005. Police Car Light No Jumper ran with the headline, "Is this the end of Diddy? Eminem's secret files could change everything." Police Car Light The Breakfast Club tried to stay neutral, but even Charlamagne hinted that if M drops the vault, it could cause an industry extinction-level event. And then came the division, because not everyone is rooting for M to speak up. Some fans, especially younger ones, called him petty, a clout chaser, or worse, a coward for sitting on the truth this long. But the OGs, the day ones, they knew. They remembered the unspoken rules of that era. They knew the cost of speaking out, and they understood why Eminem had to wait. Fire fan at Relapse Stand Forever tweeted, "Y'all don't get it. M didn't stay silent because he was scared. He stayed silent because he's been protecting us from seeing just how dirty this industry really is." Fire another wrote, "This is why Shady is the GOAT. He had nuclear codes the whole time and chose not to fire. But now, the game changed." As the internet flooded with speculation, one unexpected response came from a former Bad Boy Records A&R who tweeted, "I was there. There was a reason no one ever pushed M's buttons, even Puff wouldn't. We called him the iceberg, most of his power was beneath the surface." And if all that wasn't enough, an alleged former assistant to CC posted a now-deleted thread claiming that Kingmaker was only the tip of the iceberg. They wrote, "M recorded 6 versions, 1 clean, 1 coded, 4 explicit. Only 1 survives on a drive hidden in a vault in Detroit. But if it leaks, the Grammys, Bet, and 3 major execs are done." It's total chaos, factions forming. Supporters demanding truth, haters demanding silence, and one man, Eminem, hasn't said a word. Yet. And that silence, it's louder than anything he's ever recorded. Just when the world thought it couldn't get any wilder, when every thread, theory, and whisper had been dissected to death, a devastating new twist surfaced. One that made everything we thought we knew look like child's play. Because, according to a now-deleted post from a Shady Records audio technician, Eminem didn't just build a vault, he built a time bomb. That's right. The post, anonymously published on an obscure industry message board, claimed that Eminem predicted this moment years ago. That he had already recorded a series of unreleased tracks known internally as the Fallout Files. According to the post, the Fallout Files are 6 audio master reels stored in 3 different locations, each protected by a release protocol. They're set to drop if certain thresholds are met, contracts breached, attacks made, or if something happens to M himself. Let that sink in. This wasn't just about secrets anymore. This was about contingency, survival, legacy. Eminem allegedly created an entire lyrical warhead designed to detonate if the industry tried to silence him. One source said, "He knew he couldn't fight them head-on, so he set traps. He put rhymes in vaults, metaphors in code, and verses that don't make sense until the right moment. And that moment might be now." But here's the most terrifying part. One of the Fallout Files is reportedly titled, CC, Final Session. And insiders swear this track contains clear references to Diddy, violence buried behind success, and the elite figures who tried to muzzle the most dangerous voice in hip-hop history. A sample lyric allegedly leaked from an old engineer's laptop. "They sent kings to leash me, priests to preach me / suits in silence tried to bleach me / but I spit red ink in sermons coded / and left my truth where time eroded." What does that even mean? No one knows for sure. But it sounds like Eminem left his truth behind, knowing the industry would try to erase it, and designed his music to resurface like ghosts when the time was right. And now, that time might be upon us. Because a few nights ago, Reddit blew up with reports of a mysterious hard drive being passed around in Detroit circles. Some say it's drive number 3 of the Fallout Files. Others say it's just a hoax. but one post from a verified user claimed. There's a track on there where M doesn't just name CC. He details a meeting, names 2 award show execs, and ends the verse with a date. 12.1324. That date is circled everywhere now. People are calling it the Shady Reckoning. Conspiracy channels are predicting a full-blown lyrical detonation. Even AI lyric bots are scrambling to simulate what a nuclear Eminem verse might sound like. And in the middle of this madness, Eminem says nothing. He hasn't posted. He hasn't tweeted. He hasn't denied or confirmed anything. But a strange post appeared on his official YouTube channel's About section, just a single sentence. "They thought I was quiet, I was just charging." Fans are shook. Some say it's a sign. Others think it's bait, but everyone agrees. The silence is no longer peace. It's a warning. And Diddy? He's been eerily silent too. No Instagram lives, no cryptic quotes, no take that deflections, because maybe, just maybe, he knows what's coming. And now here's the final cliffhanger. A new leak hit Discord hours ago. A screenshot of a private invite-only event titled The Unloading, allegedly hosted by an M. Mathers, set for December 13, 2024 in an undisclosed location in Detroit. The event description: "One night, one mic, no filters, no censors. You wanted the truth, now you'll hear it." Is it real? Is it the launch of the Fallout Files? Is this the end of Diddy, CC, and every secret the industry tried to bury? Or is it another ghost drop meant to distract us while the real bomb is planted somewhere else? We don't know. But what we do know is this: Eminem has always been 10 moves ahead. And if what we're seeing now is the result of decades of planning, silence, and lyrical warfare, then the biggest drama in hip-hop history isn't ending. It's just beginning. Get ready, because December is coming. And when the Fallout Files finally drop, nobody is safe. And now we turn to you after everything we just exposed, after all the cryptic lyrics, the hidden vaults, the ghost producers, and the silence that now feels strategic. There's only one question left. What do you think Eminem's really hiding? Do you believe the Fallout Files are real? Was CC just an industry ghost? Or is he the invisible architect behind the biggest cover-up in hip-hop history? Is Diddy just a face in front of a machine? Or is Eminem sitting on the most dangerous secret the culture has ever known? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Every single theory counts. We want to hear from the fans, the day ones, the conspiracists, the insiders, even the skeptics. Because this isn't just a story. This is a countdown. And with that rumored December 13th unloading event looming, with Eminem still silent, and with Diddy refusing to make a move, something's coming. And you don't want to miss it. So if you haven't already, backhand index pointing right, smash that like button if your jaw dropped at any point during this video. Backhand index pointing right, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on all notifications, because the Fallout Files might surface at any moment, and when they do, you'll hear it here first. And one last thing, let's see who's really been paying attention. Collision, drop a bomb emoji in the comments if you caught the hidden clue in M's leaked lyric. Detective male type, they know, if you think the industry's been running scared from Shady this whole time. We're watching the comments 24/7, and the best theories might just end up featured in the next video. Eyes this story. It's nowhere near over, so stay locked in, stay suspicious, and get ready, because when the silence finally breaks, hip-hop will never be the same. Fire.